Hey, Mag, bit of truth back on. Now today we go discuss the housing situation in America and what's really going on. Why people can't afford houses anymore. It's getting to a point now, people, where, housing is serious now. That's why you see more homeless people than ever. So rent is high and mortgage is high. It's harder now for people to get homes. And this is a trick right here from the government people. And we go talk about it with the Wall Street people, supposedly. Wall Street, they say, buying up all the houses. We go get into that and show you the agenda behind it. We go talk about it. Just make it run.
There are many problems in the modern housing market, but the biggest one for Americans tends to be the price.
Prices rose 40% from the start of the pandemic.
You hear that, people? It rose 40% since the start of the pandemic. And I already told you, the starting of the pandemic was a destruction. They started, you understand? For the masses, this beginning of the damn end. As you could see right here, why would it rose 40% in less than 3 years? What that about? The pandemic is not even 3 years old, people. Why would they do this? This is to put this strain on the masses with everything else the government people is offering up. Pay attention.
The final quarter of 2022, the typical U.S. home sold for a record-shattering $468,000. That's unaffordable for most Americans.
And they know that's why they do it. And another thing you got to understand, most of those people that homeless was actually living in those homes. So when the interest rate and everything jack up and the price of the home jack up, those people can't afford it anymore. The mortgage that they're paying now 4 or 5 times up. That's what they do, people. The government control the whole housing, and that's what they're doing to the masses. Put the pressure on you. Yes, so you can't afford it, or you have to reach out further or go slave some more to afford these homes. Pay attention.
To rent.
The housing costs are completely out of line with wages.
Some members of Congress believe Wall Street is a part of the problem.
What's outrageous is... But what you have to understand, the government is the Wall Street, is the same people. All the establishment is the same. They're controlled by the same world government. Those are the ones who doing the damage to the masses. So when you see Wall Street supposedly buying up these houses or these homes, 100% is a government operation.
More tax dollars are helping Wall Street buy up single-family homes. You're subsidizing Wall Street.
Massive private equity firms like Blackstone and Pradium Partners have backed a relatively new breed of homeowner, the corporation. This growing industry buys or builds single-family homes and then rents them out.
Yes, people, because what you have to understand is every home that building now built by the government peoples. You have to understand that, like I mentioned, everything else is them gonna be serving it up. It was a time where, they just have a little bit so-called in it, where they say, we build a housing scheme over here, we build these houses over here. But all of a sudden, people, the new thing is they're the one who gonna own any home you see built. The ones that already built belongs to them. Don't worry about it. With all these high interest rates and everything going up and the taxes going up on those places, you understand that it put more pressure on the people. More people gonna lose their home. That's what you need to understand. And then the government gonna own all the homes. They're the one who gonna rent it to you. They're the one who gonna control the whole thing. Pay attention.
Community organizers that are door knocking in certain neighborhoods and are just surprised by how many of the homes on a particular block will be owned by a corporate landlord.
There you go.
Industry advocates say corporate landlords play a critical role in addressing the nationwide housing crisis.
You hear that, people? What I tell you is all the other chaos. They're talking about the crisis, the housing crisis. And then now look what they're doing right here. Gonna help it? Just like they tell you they're building these tiny homes to basically relieve this problem right here with the housing. No problem, people. They're the one who created it. 100%. All the problem that they're creating is to put the pressure on you. Make it harder for the people to own homes. Pay attention.
And housing in the United States is a chronic shortage since the financial crisis.
And so the question really is, how do we fill that gap? Is the answer incentivizing?
Look at this right here, people. And I already told you, these are not strong homes. It don't cost that much money to build it. You understand what I'm saying here? They build a whole apartment complex in 1 month, no lie, with 2,000 units on it. In a couple of months, they will build it. The home, it don't take them couple of weeks to build these homes. Look at it, it's just wood. You don't get it, people, just wood and so-called sheetrock. And as soon as a storm come to a little wind, he blow it right there to rubble. Why you think these homes cost this much? Putting the pressure on you and they don't value that much. Look at it, people. Just wood, plywood at the bottom, and these wood they put right here to where they're gonna nail the damn sheetrock on. Wow, if it get wet, it's over, people. What you can't understand, it don't worth this much money, but it's just to put the pressure on you. Any house you're gonna buy, build the same way. That's their building code, people. It's a trick.
Housing development, new housing investment, new market participation.
Look.
What's behind the rise of corporate landlords? And how, if at all, will the government regulate them?
It's the same government, people. Don't worry about it. It's them.
As of 2023, corporate landlords only command a small portion of the rental housing in this country. The vast majority of all rental units, including apartments, are owned by individual, small-time investors.
No, people, no. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. These downtown buildings, these ones that they have right here, they belongs to a corporate business. You understand? The government, they're the one who own these buildings right here. Don't tell me shit. And then they're actually selling it to the public. You buy a little apartment in here. Why? People are just stupid, man. This is how they want you to live right here. You have no land space. You have control of nothing. And we talk about it with these so-called, HMO or HOM or HMO. They come in and basically run the whole town. They have a section of homes where they can tell you what color you need to be painted in and everything. You can't change nothing. You're going to do something on the roof, they're going to know about it. Your fencing, everything. They tell you how you can live right there. What you think. You don't own nothing in Babylon. Pay attention.
By individual, small-time investors. But there's growing focus on single-family homes.
Institutions, large companies, only account for about 1% of all the rental housing in the United States and only about 2% of the single-family rental housing.
There's a small but mighty group of companies that lead the industry.
So Pretium is the parent company for
See
a
that?
company
The diamond on it? Pay attention.
called Progress Residential that
Same
owns about
government
90,000
owned
homes. They were started by
90,000.
Don Mullen, who came out of Goldman Sachs'
See, there
mortgage
you
group.
go. All of them is the same, people. Don't let them fool you. That's why I'm here with this BAM truth. All of them is the same. Don't let them fool you. They're the one who causing this destruction on the masses. Why you think they're tied to the same damn people we talk about every day? Listen.
Don Mullen, who came out of Goldman Sachs' mortgage group. Invitation Homes was started by Blackstone, but Blackstone sold their position a long time ago. They own about 80,000 homes. American Homes for Rent, which was started by Wayne Hughes. They own about 60,000 homes. There's a company called Tricon Residential that's out of Canada. And then there's one called Amherst. Those are the big five.
In recent years, corporate landlords have been most active in the Sun Belt. In 2021, corporations bought 28% of all the homes sold in Texas.
You know why? Because Texas is the next hot spot. A lot of people don't understand. They always have these spots. Hot spots. Everybody gonna run there. Whatever they're selling, you're gonna buy it and end up there. Why you think so many people was living in California? That was the hot spot, people. All the way up till maybe about 10, 12 years ago. That was the hottest spot. Everybody wanna go to California. They're moving from where they at. And California, the rates and everything going up. You understand? That's why it's one of the most expensive places to live. The cost of living. You know why they call it cost of living? Because you have to pay to live there. You have to pay to live anywhere in this earth. You have to pay to live here. So that's what it is. It's too high to live in California. After they make it the hot spot. Because once it moving and everybody there and okay, now they can manipulate you by jacking up everything. New York do the same thing. Now it's Texas time right here. Don't take it for a joke. This is where everybody running. Even the people from Hollywood. The people from California heading to Texas because Texas gonna be the next hot spot. And then boom, everything gonna go sky high there. So you see the people that used to live in Texas gotta move out. Are you listening to me? Or be homeless. This is how they do it, people. Remember, that's why California did have the most homeless people in the world. Why? Because everybody's running there, cost of living go high, and then the people at the bottom drop to the floor. So that's what they do, people. So now when you see this moving to Texas, you know what's going to happen to Texas. The price is going to go up. All the people got to leave that's there. That used to be saying, nice cost of living. No, they got to have to move. Go to another smaller place, smaller towns where it's cheaper. That's what it is, people. That's why you see everybody moving around. They're running from the high cost of living some places and they're going to be somewhere else. But it's only a matter of time before they go sky high.
That figure was 19% in Georgia and 16% in Florida.
There you go.
Georgia is one of them. And Blackstone target these markets. Blackstone in particular has held large stakes in several companies that dominate the region. Rent hikes for single-family homes in this region have outpaced other parts of the country. Since the onset of the pandemic, rents for a two-bed detached home increased about 43% in Phoenix. They're up 44% in Tampa and 35% in Atlanta. That's compared to 24% nationwide.
See that, people?
Experts say that many of the properties bought up by institutional groups were previously owned by people who were destabilized in recent recessions.
You see that? They destabilized in recent recession. So that's what they do, people. They put the pressure on you. When you buckle and fall, they come and take over. That's what they do. So now the whole housing business belongs to them. It's in their hands. Like I said, the few people that actually own these homes, they're going to lose it soon with the pressure that they're putting on. Wow.
After the pandemic, people saw the opportunity to go into these lower income neighborhoods, working class neighborhoods.
Just like the so-called World Economic Forum. Yes, they see the opportunity because of the pandemic. No. Is they create that shit so they can bring this order. That's what they do, people. That's what they do. It's not they see an opportunity. No, they're the one who create it. You understand? So it won't be, kind of confusing to you why they do it. They tell you why they do it, but you wouldn't understand. They're the one who create the problem so they can bring this order in. That's what they do.
Buy up these houses and in communities that the working class can afford. And they're holding these houses, often for years, taking them off the market, making it even harder for young people and working class families to own a house.
There you go.
Companies like Blackstone make serious money from these investments.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Why would they do that? Anybody know? Why would they make it harder for the young people or people in general to own their homes? Why? It's to put more pressure on you, more strain. That's all it is. Remember, they tell you about the American dream. The American dream is to own a home, white picket fence, all of this shit they're giving you. Yes, so people want to own a home. And the people who can't own a home have to rent. Do you understand? So it's the same system. So all of these places that they tell you is a hotspot that people run into, the government gonna be building up these houses there, these homes. So when they come, they can accommodate them. That's what it is. And the price is gonna go up. That's what they do, people. Listen.
For example, the company's Real Estate Income Trust delivered an 8.4% return on investment in 2022.
Watch this.
This in a year when the wider stock market declined nearly 20%.
Part of the problem with private equity involved in housing.
They control it. They control the whole Wall Street. They're the one who control the switch. They tell you what's up, what's down. They use this right here to represent it. You see what it is? The horned creature. And look at the star right there, represent the fallen angels with the bricks. They're the one who have this whole thing right here in their control. They switch it up, they switch it down, they switch it off. They're the one who control this shit right here. Don't believe in it.
They're in it for the short term. Their goal is to take a company, increase cash flow in order then to sell it or to take it public, which they did in the case of Invitation Homes.
There you go.
Unlike maybe smaller landlords who still are looking to have a profit, may be in it more for the long term and see it as a long-term investment, are more concerned in terms of stability, and concerned in terms of satisfied tenants, and wanting there to be less turnover. With private equity, it's really about kind of maximizing the short-term returns.
In particular, real estate funds issued by private equity groups can be a useful hedge against inflation, boosting their popularity.
Inflation is a word that they just throw out there. It's nothing but bullshit to explain what they're doing to you.
Analysts write that by 2030, institutions may own 7.6 million single-family rental homes.
They own all of them already.
That could be more than 40% of the market. But that's a big if. Many real estate experts say the main solution to the problematic housing market is to build fast.
You hear that?
In the late 70s, early 80s, the United States routinely generated between 300,000 and 400,000 starter homes a year. In 2020, we generated 65,000. So we have a situation now where we're trying to catch up, but we haven't quite gotten there.
I don't believe that shit. You understand? Because what you have to understand, let me wake you up on something just in case you don't know. The government own the banks. When I say government, I mean the peoples that control us, not the ones that they use as puppet to show you. The peoples who actually govern you own the banks. That's how they control you. You understand? They couldn't control you without the bank. Remember I tell you about the Bitcoin trick that the bank pull off. They're the one who pull it off on you. Your money can't go nowhere without the bank, so don't let them get out of it. They're the one who create it. Like I said, the government people who govern you for real own the banks. The banks own these homes. By any means necessary, they own those homes. So when I tell you that you live there and you're paying your note, you're paying your mortgage, and you pay a down payment. Most of them is 10 to 15% down payment they're asking for before you can buy the home. So when you put the 15% down or 10% down, paying mortgage for 10 years or 10 years, let's say between 5 or 10 years, then you're faulty on it. What they gonna do? All the bank lose. They come back and take the home. They never give you back the money that you pay down. They never give you back the money you pay in monthly installment. They give you back nothing. Then they have the home again. The home don't drop. The home didn't drop the price. It didn't fall down since they're pushing everything up. So the home actually value more than when you supposedly purchase it or finance it. So now when you so-called buy it for 400,000 and now it's 700,000. They take you out of there. They don't give you none of the money back that you put in. And now they have the house for double. So how the bank lose? The bank still own the home. They own the home that you already pay some money for. You couldn't pay it all the way. Now they got it in their hands. They can sell it for more. But you're telling the masses that the faulty bank loans, cost the bank. The bank losing. Why do you lie like that? Every time somebody go faulty in a loan, I don't care what it is. Those big loans, bank card, the bank actually win. Because they get back their money and you never get no refund. You never get no money back from what you put in. So that means the bank still keep your money. They never lose. So the bank own these homes. So don't tell me about no 40% in 2030. They own them already. It's the same government people called banks.
15 years ago, lots of homes were coming onto the market.
See? All of them owned by banks.
Led to a crash.
Foreclosure, bam. There you go right there. What that mean? What foreclosure mean? It mean that they just evict somebody out of there. Somebody foreclose. They meaning they couldn't pay. They couldn't pay for this home. So now the bank come back and put a sign right there for sale and tell you it's a foreclosure. What that mean? They're gonna sell their home back again. Those people have to find somewhere else to live. Then they was paying for it and they was owning it supposedly. You get my point now? So the foreclosure mean the bank just take it back from somebody that couldn't pay, at faulty on the loan, and now they have it to sale again right there. Pay attention.
2000s, scores of people lost their homes. Roughly 8 million mortgages went into foreclosure between 2007 and 2016.
Wow, there you go.
Institutional investors stepped in, buying up homes that were on sale.
You see that? How come they was on sale? They was sold by the banks. The banks is the same investors they're talking about, people. They're the one who own the investment, the whole thing. Just wake up on what you think, because somebody's standing here in a suit Dumb on, man. Dumb on.
Bigger investors started to get into the rental game. They started buying up thousands of these distressed properties. And actually, they really helped to put a floor on home prices because home prices were crashing so hard.
There was a decision to subsidize some of these private equity firms to go into the housing market. You could argue that that was needed because the market had been so suppressed.
There you go,
This
people.
crash led to the birth of the single-family rental industry.
See, there you go. Single family rental industry. That's what it is, people. All out of the chaos. Did I miss yet? Everything they give you is to bring you something. Let me tell you something about the Americans. You have to show them something, and that's why they do these things. You don't get it. If they're going to change a law, twist something or change something, they're not just come out and say it. They go, everybody going to be like, why? So they have to show you something, give you an example, give you a psyop to make you buy in. You got it? That's all it is. They don't pass nothing unless they give you psyops first. So I told you the fake so-called, crashing of the market, and then now they can bring in all these laws. You got it? Listen.
I had a friend of mine who was very well connected. He took me all around Washington, D.C., and I just shared what was going on. And then out of that, I met with somebody at HUD whose idea was like, why are we going to foreclose on all these people and create huge losses for HUD, the Housing and Urban Development, and then provide all sorts of rental assistance to these people who are going to need it? Why don't we just basically keep them in the house, restructure it, maybe say, okay, you're a renter now, not a homeowner, but cause them far less distress.
You hear that, people? You're a renter now, not a homeowner. Yeah, just to let them stay in there. You hear that? What a dumb shit. So now you're renting, you can't own the building no more. It's just a joke, people. I told you, they set it up to strain you. There's no way you can come to right here. You understand? They have a lot of people that, they've set up with good jobs and good benefits and all of these things, but they're going to find a way to get you. Remember that all of these things that the mass is going to, not everybody going to be so-called, free from it. You understand? A lot of people are thinking that they're comfortable now or they're all right. When the pressure really hits, yes, you're going to feel it. And I hear them talking about, they're going to cancel the food stamps and all of these things, SNAP program and all of these. The pressure is coming, people, just in case you don't know. And for the people who be getting their tax returns back, look what it is. You're not going to get back no money. I already told you the government trick you when they just give you the last meal the last time with the so-called stimulus. I already told you what it is. After they give you that, what happened? You go downhill since they even tell you that's the reason why you're having an inflation. Because they have to print money to give it to you. Wow, I tell you, pay attention here. Move. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Ann Gaviola. Welcome to the Pecan Global, where we break down what is trending in the business world and what you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. Joining me now is Brett Chang from the Peak Podcast. Welcome, Brett.
Hey, Ann, great to be with you.
Let's talk about housing for a change. So we have a sense of what an average $1 million home looks like in Canada. I'm using air quotes there. Depending on what city you're in, according to a report this week by Royal LePage, we're talking 3.2 bedrooms, 2.6 bathrooms on average, and about 1,700 square feet of living space.
Okay, that's what you need to understand. 17 square. What? You gotta be kidding me, people. For $1 million? Okay, so there you go. And you're saying in certain cities or certain, areas, but it's gonna be everywhere. Home gonna be basically out of reach for most people. Like I tell you already, people go be working 6 figures and still gotta, basically struggle to live. Just pay their bills hand to mouth style. What they're taking is what they're putting out. Same amount, can't save. It's coming. Listen.
Rooms on average and about 1,700 square feet of living space. Your thoughts on this, Brett?
Wow.
I think what's surprising is that is the national average. I could expect, or I would expect to see a house of that size going for $1 million in Toronto or Vancouver or even Montreal. But for that to be the national average, where you're looking at places like Calgary.
National average, people. Wow. 3.2 bedroom. Wow. $1 million? Wow.
And Edmonton included into that. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by.
Yeah, I think this is reflective of the new reality, if you will. When I think of $1 million, two things basically spring to mind. I'm going to be a little cheeky here. So the Bare Naked Ladies song, If I Had $1 Million, and I fully blame my colleague Craig Lord for getting that stuck in my head.
Take a look at these right here, people. Like I show you, the housing in America is the same thing. They're no different in Canada. They give you these wooden shit with bagasse board and, you know, and sheetrock. It's not concrete. There you go, people, and this is what they're charging $1 million for. There you go. Like I said, the pressure is on the masses now. I tell you, the people that working and thinking that, you know, they're working a good amount of money a year, they're not going to be able to afford mortgage. Point blank, period. Pay attention here.
And also Mike Myers in the Austin Powers movie asking for a ransom of $1 million. Now, either way, it used to be considered an astronomical sum of money, and now we're using it non-ironically in the same sentence as average. So the Royal LePage report highlights that the remote work trend has opened up a lot of options for people since the pandemic changes. Can I interest you, for example, in a move to Halifax, Brett?
You know, I think Halifax is beautiful in the summer. I'm not sure it's the best place to be in the winter, though. And so I think I'll pass on that, even though it is a beautiful place. Really, I agree with you. I think what's happening now is
there you go, people, wood. Like I tell you, people, I always go back and ask you, why would you want to build a house out of sticks? That's what wood is. It's stick, man. It's sticks. Wow, you don't get it, man. The 3 pigs in the house, they tell you about, in the story back in the days, nobody built a stick house. They tell you that the wolf blow it down. They tell you the wolf blow down the house that made out of sticks and the one that made out of straw. Only the brick house stand, but you come building the people these $1 million homes out of sticks. Does that make sense?
As people have optionality in terms of where they live and their ability to keep their jobs and wherever it is, that they now are looking elsewhere to see where can they get more space for less money. It's a pretty natural thing to do, and it's really...
They're going to determine where you're going to live. They're going to force certain people in certain areas. That's what they're going to do. The pressure going to determine where you're going to end up.
Getting to inflate housing prices, not just in the urban centers like we've seen, but throughout the country now, in secondary markets like Halifax and Quebec City and Victoria. And that's only going to increase as the cities...
So you see, same thing in Canada right there. What they're going to tell you, this is the same thing, people. Big firm, big company, big establishment buying up all the homes and have all these big price tag on them. Wow.
Become more and more expensive as remote work really does continue to be a trend that I think will turn into something that's permanent. People will look elsewhere for where they can get a better deal on housing.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to see how permanent this is. And absolutely no shade to Halifax. Brett has business to run out of Toronto.
There you go, people. With their so-called businesses that they're going to bring in to buy up all their homes and control the whole thing. They already do. But they're just going to put more pressure on the masses. It's going to be harder to own these homes. Don't worry about it. The people that actually own homes, most of them going to lose it under these pressures that they're putting on. It's time. The end of times is drawing close, people. You're going to feel the pressure that the people's putting on. That's what they do. Catch me on the run. I'm gone.